It's still trying.
Oh,
All right.
and the
Let me
screen
get
is
the right one.
on. The
Uh-oh.
screen.
It's
Oh.
my urine sample.
Oh, cerveza mosfina.
La cerveza más fina. It's the only Spanish I know.
Hey, everybody, welcome again to Are You Shitting Me? TMI, the podcast. I'm Ron here in Las Vegas. And as always, I have with me my wonderful older brother,
Yeah, I'm Mike in Amarillo. Hello, everyone.
Armadillo, Texas. How's the let's kick off? How's the weather in Amarillo these days?
It's actually grotesquely warm.
Yeah, we
Now,
had
I'm not saying anything about global warming, but I am ready for winter to get here, and that's what happens. It happens everywhere, I understand, but we're going to wake up in the next couple of days. It's going to be like 30 degrees out here, and I'm going to go, damn it, I didn't get all my honeydews done that I was supposed to do all summer long.
So
I'll get caught.
last week, actually last week, I was out on a job site with one of my guys, and we're working outside on a commercial building, and I'm in shorts and one of my work shirts, and I'm just sweating my ass off here in Vegas. This morning it was 54 degrees outside this morning.
Oh my.
Friday, now hold on. Friday, I'm going up to our spot in Missoula, Montana. I looked at the weather there. This morning was 27.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, they've already had snow back in the Springs.
Really?
Yeah. And Tom Losay sent me he posted it, that Wolf Creek is opening up, I think, this weekend.
Wow.
So ski season getting ready to get underway in Colorado already.
Snow was nice already to see on TV.
That was the end of October.
Yeah. Well, that was my thought last week. It's like it's the middle of October and it's 90 degrees outside here. I'm like,
yeah,
what the hell happened? But anyway, I digress. Just weather is weather, no matter where you're at.
Yeah, it happens.
But Mike had on there, I don't see our tagline anywhere, but yeah, tonight's just going to be kind of a rant night. I had a couple things happen this week that just kind of set me off. And you and I have talked about this before, Mike, but a couple of the items we're going to talk about are, one is customer service, and two is work ethic. And I think in a lot in today's day and age, those two kind of go hand in hand, at least in what I'm seeing. I don't know what you see out there in Amarillo, but god dang, man, I hate to be like I said, get on a rant about it, but god damn, it's horrible.
Well, I don't know that there's ever been a time, and this has been going on for a while now, where service providers do everything they can to avoid speaking to the customer.
Amen.
That's my issue today is, you know what really pisses me off is when you call someplace either to get a balance of something you may owe or whatever the case may be, and you get the recording while you're waiting. It says, "Did you know you can
go online
on our website? You can go to our website and did it." No, I want to freaking ass talk to somebody.
And you can get ignored there just as well as you can get ignored here.
Exactly. I can go get ignored on your damn website. No, I'll keep pushing. This is me. I'm the dude that keeps pushing 0 until somebody fucking answers. Right? That's me.
They're like, fuck, he's back.
Right. It's the 0 guy.
Well, I'll tell you what really kind of got me, and I had some other things I wanted to talk about this week, but it was very predominant this morning. And I hate to call out Home Depot, but I'm sorry, but that's just where I was this morning. And here's how my walk through Home Depot went this morning. So I get there about 7:15. I walk in. I always go in the where the pro side is, and there's the girl at the register like this, just on her phone texting.
Right.
I go down there. I walk down by a paint department. Guy in the paint department. sitting there texting. I walk past them. I get up to garden. The lady out in the garden department on her phone texting. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, but when I'm there and I need customer service, or I need to ask somebody a question, I hate that I almost have to interrupt them on their personal time while they're at their flipping job.
Well, because you don't want to have to say, I'm sorry. I realize you're dealing with somebody more important than I am, but
Thank you. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, exactly. And I, dude, I'm that guy. I'll walk onto one of my job sites, and if I see one of my guys on their phone, I'm like, you better hope to God somebody either died or you're texting me.
That's right. That's right.
Those are the only two acceptable answers I'm gonna hear.
Yeah, when I was with Vans at H&H Printwear, we had a policy that said you're supposed to leave your cell phones in your car and you can use them during break time, because we gave 2 breaks a day and your lunch hour. And we finally got to the point to where we understood, look, we're not going to stop this. They're going, and we're a small employer, and so we understood, we're not going to stop it. So we just sort of tried to relegate it as much as we could. I would stop them every month and say, dude, really? You think you can maybe stop that and focus on, our time, what we're paying you for? So we did, we relaxed it a little bit, but there, I think all we're doing, and whether it's our small business at the time or whoever it is, once you start to relax,
you're enabling
the policy, they'll just kick the door open.
Yeah.
It is the old, you give them an inch and they'll take everything they can.
And it's one of those things, Mike, where it's bad enough when that happens, but it's worse when you ask them a question and they don't even bother to look up.
Right. Give me some fucking FaceTime, man. Look me in the eye and tell me you don't have it. And
that was part of the thing. And I came home and I have a couple of screens here. You guys can't see them, but I have a screen over here. And I just kind of looked up, customer service then and now. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but I grew up in an era where customer service to me was toe to toe, pressing palms, eye to eye, talking to people, getting to know your customer, getting to know your client. And nowadays it's just, text message and email, and you could do business with somebody for years and never meet the freaking person.
Yeah. And that's, you just nailed the 2 things that have made, F2F business or B2B business, what's made it lazy, and that's email and texting.
Yeah.
When you eliminate the possibility or the need for face-to-face time, where you can do a handshake or speak to somebody in person, then you've really eliminated the personality of that opportunity.
Absolutely.
To me, it just becomes just a sterile, voidless. I don't care for it. But and I realize I'm old. I get all that, but there should still be a place in the world of business for please, thank you, shake my hand. Look, if I'm standing in your place of business, let's use Home Depot. If I'm in Home Depot and I'm looking for a paint, a stain, whatever it is, and there's none on the shelf, if you come by and I ask, hey, can you tell me if you have any more of this color? Rather than lie to me, tell me the truth. So you know what? There just aren't any out here, but I know I just saw some in the back. Let me go get you a couple.
Amen.
But don't stand there and fucking lie to me and say, no, we're out. And,
Dude,
and move on.
That's like a stock answer at most big box stores is, we don't carry that anymore. We don't have any in stock. To the point, Mike, where I've literally been standing face to face with a person. And I'm like, hey, do you carry these pencils anymore? No, we don't carry those. And I look over their shoulder. I'm like, you mean those right there behind you?
Right.
I mean, literally to that level. And it's just.
I have had that, almost that same experience talking about the pencil. Last year, I was doing something here at the house, and I needed a 5-in-1 tool because mine's all rusted out and the handle's broken. So I went to Home Depot. Now today, I can tell you, I know that store better than the people that work there. That's the shame of it.
And I believe it.
At this time, there was a lady that was there. She'd been there for quite a while. and she happened to be in that aisle. She said, "Hey, can I help you?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm looking for a 5-in-1 tool." Um, okay, so what is that? And she's an older lady. I said, "Well, ma'am, it's a 5-in-1 tool. It should look like a combination scraper.
Paint tool
And
cleaner.
yeah, it's a 5-in-1 tool." And she clearly had no. So she gets her little phone out, the Home Depot version of it, and she's trying to look it up. Well, by that time, it literally is what you almost just described. I knew it had to be somewhere
It's in
in the
paint.
paint aisle, and we're standing. And I happen to look up, and there it is. And I said, "Never mind, ma'am." So I just reached up over her shoulder and grabbed one. "Oh, that's what it is." "Yes, ma'am. See where it says 5-in-1 tool?"
But
So
God
that's
bless her for at least taking the time to stop and try to figure out what the heck it is.
yeah, true, right? True. And then I'll give her that credit. You're absolutely right. I'll give credit where it's due. Now, on the flip side of things, and I was telling you backstage, and I don't mind sharing some of this. Look, you haven't lived until you've been served 3 or 4 times, and so I'm facing some legal issues in my life, and so there's one that involves the possibility of me going to court this Friday, and I've been trying everything I can to stop that. And so this firm that keeps calling me and I keep answering, and it shocks them because they're not used to anybody answering, right? So I spoke to this lady last Friday and I said, "Look, her name is Ashley." I said, "Ashley, I'm trying to do everything I can to prevent this from going to court next Friday." And she says, "Okay, but you're going to need to call us by next Wednesday." "Not a problem. I'll get things taken care of. I'm going to give you a call back." So today, I shit you not, I've called this number now 3 times. Each time I call, I get a different non-American, and
Thank
and
you
I
for
say yes,
calling. My name is
and
Steven.
and so I'll say yes, I need, and I give the extension I need, and the next question, all 3 of them have asked me the same thing. What number did you call? What? Don't you know your own number? So I repeat the number, and the last one was, "Yeah, okay, hang on a second." And each and every time, the next thing I hear is a dial tone.
Get disconnected. Yep.
Yeah. So how frustrating is that? That's what I mean by in today's world, and this is me trying to pay a bill,
Right. Trying to
right?
give them money.
I'm trying to give you money, and yeah. So that's the frustration, but that also is a great microcosm example of what service provision is like today.
Well,
It's
Mike,
just not what it was when you and I were coming up and we were dealing with customers.
sure. Well, you made a good point, and yeah, we're of the older generation, and we have, different beliefs of how things should go, and more importantly, how things used to go. And my clients find it weird because I'm purposely, if we get a new client, I am there the first day of that job site every time. I mean, some people are like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" like, what the hell do you mean? What am I doing here? It's my name on the business. It's me fronting everything. Of course I'm going to be here. Why would I not want to be here to
Absolutely.
introduce myself? But that's dude, that's what we're trained on now is just send them an email, send them a text
Yeah,
message, send whatever, no, send yourself, go over there, introduce yourself and be part of whatever it is that you've built. I've worked my ass off, getting to where I'm at, and I'm not any huge success, but you know what? I do okay. And it's because I personally think it's because I still live by the traits of the things I learned when I was a kid.
please, thank you. How
Yes,
can I
ma'am.
earn your business?
No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir.
Yep,
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't care if you're 80 or you're 30. If you're one of my clients, it's yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
yep.
And almost to the point to where it almost seems like it offends some people, because they're like, what do you mean?
There
Who you calling sir?
now, I'm not going to shoehorn everybody into the example of poor customer service that we're giving here, because I tell you, and it took me a little while to really come around to it. When I first heard it early on, It sort of irritated me, sort of like the term "reach out." Hey, did you reach out? Or hey, make sure you reach out to me, and we'll do this. And when that term started to come into vogue, it irritated me. It pissed me off. I thought, what do you mean reach out? And are you my life jacket? Do I need you for some reason? So I had to come around to that one. Now the other one that I've had to come around to is, this will go sound silly, but of course, absolutely. When I would, either in the checkout lane or on the phone with someone, giving the AT&T at the store, whatever the case is, and it's somebody in their 20s or 30s, and I would say, great, thank you for asking. Oh, absolutely, of course. So I've learned to come to appreciate. I think that is their you're welcome.
Pretty much.
I don't know why they can't say you're welcome. I don't know if it has too many syllables in it, but of course.
What's a syllable?
She lived across the street from us on Debonair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty quick.
That was good. Dude,
I'm only one beer in. I still got it, baby.
I got to give you that one. But no, I agree, Mike. And that's a whole other conversation. You want to start talking about terminology and things that, we understood when we were young men versus in today's day and age. Because I talk to my grandkids and I have no flipping idea what they're saying. They tell me, Papa, don't be so Ohio and stop being Sigma and don't be. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I mean, they literally, and it's funny. Last week, you and I talked about, the more things change, the more they stay the same. And language is a huge part of that. Kids nowadays literally have their own language. I don't know if you're around it or at the studio or whatever, younger folks, but man, it's tough keeping up.
I'm blessed in that where I work, it's all old people.
It's a senior citizen radio station.
Except for my producer and one other cat.
55
I might be
and older.
there. I could very well be the youngest one in there.
Well, what are some other things, Mike, that you can think of, whether it be customer, sorry, hit the mic here, whether it be customer service based or things that we remember as young men or as we were getting into the workforce that, as you so put there, that have kind of disappeared from society today, besides the customer service part?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's just manners. Manners today are different than what they were back then. When I was even 13, 14 years old, we've already talked about it, and I never called an adult by his or her first name.
Oh, no.
It was always Mr. or Mrs., Sir or Ma'am. Today, the younger generation feels as if it's entitled to just call you by your first name if they can call you by your name at all.
Yeah.
And, in some ways, and I'm not going to get into full on politics, but that's the price you pay for, when you unleashed pronouns and that kind of stuff. And
don't get me started.
Yeah. And everybody suddenly became offended by being referred to as sir or ma'am. Many, many years ago, I was working at Phil Long Ford in Colorado Springs, and I sold a lady a car. I don't remember I think it was a used car. And while we were down there getting the car ready for delivery, I think I called her dear. And it was in a polite way. I said, "Oh, not a problem, dear. I got you." And there in the shop, she absolutely exploded.
Wow.
Don't you even call me dear. You can call me miss, ma'am. And she just went on. And I thought, and this was like way before now. This had been like late 70s, or no, probably 80, 70, 89, somewhere there. And she just, it was at a time when I thought I wanted out of radio. And my friend Weldon said, come sell cars. Yeah, I'd never been more hungry in my life. This this woman came unglued, man. And so I go back to that once in a while when I hear people being offended by some of the silly shit they're offended by.
Right.
And I think, wow, you bubble wrap society. If only you knew. But so far as what may be different today that was back then, for me, it's manners. And I want to hear another one is understanding and obeying law.
Sure.
And I'm talking simple things like a stop sign means stop, red light means stop, yield sign means yield. I don't know what it's like in Vegas, but here everything is a suggestion.
Well,
Like,
here in Vegas, it amazes me how many cars here in Las Vegas are built without turn signals.
Yeah, you might need to add that fluid.
Loyalty, being at work on time. Don't, man. Who you telling, Carolyn? That's a great point.
Well, she's quoting based on an experience some friend of ours just went through, and I'll tell you, it's the very reason why I have always maintained I would never own a restaurant. I would never own anything in the food industry. It's a hell of a risk. By the way,
hey Lori, I
don't want to get too off track here, but happy anniversary to
I saw that. Is it 42 years?
42 years today.
Well, that's almost as old as I am.
She should have ran when she had a chance. Stupid.
She tried, but we nailed one foot to the ground, so she just ran in a circle for a couple of years.
She just went in circles. Wore it out.
Hey Lori, how are you? So Lori, since you're on here, Lori, what are some things that you can remember in your youth or as a young woman? I don't care if it has to do with customer service base or just things that were, let's call it the norm back then, that just have kind of gone away from society. So ponder on that. And anybody else that's on, I don't know who's on. Mike has the man behind the curtain power, but happy anniversary. Nice, Matt. But same thing for you, Matt. I mean, what are some of the things that you can recall? Because seriously, it seriously just, it shouldn't, but it irks the crap out of me when I see that shit. When I just, for instance, I walk into, I don't know if it was an Ace Hardware or whatever. There's a young man working there, and I walk in, and he looks up to me and goes, "Sup?" I had to bite my. I turned and politely said, "I'm sorry. Did you mean good morning?"
Yeah, but I'm over here thinking, dude, tell me something.
But it was just like, so. Oh my
God. Oh Lord.
But Mike, seriously, could you imagine if you were 20 years old working wherever and somebody walked in and you just went, so?
No. I mean, you wouldn't be there very long. I'll tell you that much.
Not only would Dad probably kick our ass, but I'd probably kick my own ass for being that stupid.
I'm telling you, I don't even know how to respond because be perfectly honest with you, part of me is going, dude, I might have bought something from you. And the other part of me is going,
until you spoke.
Yeah. Sup? Wow.
It's horrible. And I hate to say it, and it kind of goes in conjunction with, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, where I made the comment, I'm at the age now where I'm like, God, is that how I walk now? Or is there something wrong with my leg? It's kind of the same thing with what we're talking about. It's like, is that just the way life is now and I have to get used to it? Or will there be a change?
I'm telling you, that's I think the old man threshold I have crossed is if I want to be, because this has always been
it's expectation.
Well, I want to be the coolest old guy that ever lived, and I'll tell you right now,
you failed already.
I'm failed that shit every day.
I failed it a couple of years ago, buddy.
Yeah. So Yeah, I've had to cross the well, I guess this is just the new world order is just what we're getting today. So, I and look, my generation, we're fading. I completely understand that. So after I'm gone, they're all yours, kid. You have
I'll
fun
give
with
you
them, little brother.
I'll give you a prime example of my old man has taken over. So last night we're at the hockey game. By the way, go Knights go. We beat the LA Kings 6-1. And the tickets were given to us from a buddy of mine. He owns a few bars here in town and great seats. Loved it. And plus it came with a parking pass. So I'm like, all right, cool. So he emailed me the parking pass. And so I, little QR code on there. And don't mind you, I've never parked in this part of the facility, so it was bougie, like the star level. So we're going to leave. We left early because I'm old and we had Elena and it was a school night, so we left about 10 o'clock last night. So I go to leave and there's a big fucking gate in front of me, and I'm like, I pull up expecting the arm to come up and nothing comes up. So I'm like, well, what the hell? And there's like 3 or 4 little garage employees standing there chit-chatting, and they're all like, it's your QR code. Get the QR code. Use your QR code. I'm like, okay. And I'm trying to pull up my phone. They just keep fucking QR code. It's your QR code. And finally, I'm like, I fucking heard you. Give me a second. God. And
Shut up.
Of course, I got in trouble.
Well, right
Michelle,
from who, Elena?
Both. Because Michelle's like, that was very rude, and that wasn't nice. Like, Papa, I have to agree with Tita on this one. That was not very nice. And I'm like, so the whole ride home, I'm just like,
yeah, right.
This is the best time to shut the up.
Have you reached the age though? And I started doing this a year or two ago, where when shit like that happens, or you're in traffic, somebody pisses you off, or whatever, and that's all you can think about for like the rest of the day or the next day. You know what? I wish I'd have just gotten out and kicked their ass. You know what? That's what you just, I'm that guy. I go back at it like a day later. I'm going, you know what?
That's nothing a good punch in the mouth wouldn't have fixed.
I should have just gotten out of the car and just beat the shit out of them.
But you know what, Mike? At our age, we'd probably get beat up.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about, right? Because it sounds good in my head, but I also understand I'm almost
the 30-year-old version of you lives back here, but the 60-year-old version's up here. Like,
yeah,
you got my Metamucil.
If I didn't think I was going to shit my pants, I'd jump out of this car and kick your ass.
Well, Lori says, calling in sick back in the day. Now you got to have a police statement just about, they say, calling out, not calling in sick. Well, no, I agree. But, even back then, calling out, I think a lot of people took advantage of it. The problem is nowadays they have so many different versions of calling in sick. My mental stability is not effective enough for me to come and perform or work today. Shut the
fuck. Emotional animal got hit by a car.
My emotional animal got hit by a car. Yeah, I stubbed my toe on the way out the door this morning.
I'm really fucked up.
And respect for elders. Yeah, and I think that's what Mike and I have touched on that quite a bit, because oh man, it's brutal. And I don't know how it is out there, Mike. Have you ever ran across this to where you're out and about somewhere and some tween age, middle, whatever is just being a disrespectful dick to an elderly person? You talk about wanting to catch a case and not don't mind going back to jail. Oh my God.
Right.
Oh my God.
Right. Now, in that case, that would be the 63-year-old man in me, deciding I've had just about enough. So, kind of on that, well, not that same, but had an experience today. So, and it's not really political, but it's going to have an undertone of politics to it. But listen to it. So, our local economic development corporation, it's kind of going tit for tat with our city council, right? So today, to make a long story short, they had a work session. Well, the EDC brings in a consultant, right? So this session started at 8 o'clock this morning. So I got up because I'm that weirdo and started watching. And this guy is in my world. When I was consulting, I referred to this guy as a boardroom bully. He's the one that when he walks in, he speaks loudly. He does everything he can to posture to make sure you're where he's in control and you're not. And so as he is speaking, he's basically giving like economics 101, which really floored me because I thought, I'm pretty sure our EDC knows what they're doing. I mean, they're damn good. So I don't understand this lesson. But anytime he made a point, he would snap his fingers. He said, we would do this, and this other client we had in Mobile, Alabama, they did this, and boom, it was wonderful. And he would snap. I mean, I bet he snapped his fucking fingers 30 times. And so the reason why I share that story is because this is the guy I am. I told other friends of mine that were kind of watching with me, that we were texting. And I said, I'm glad I'm not there. Because I'm the guy that's going to, out of nowhere, just tell you, fucking stop with the finger snapping. That's me. I am that guy. And and the older I get, the worse that part's getting, because I am going to tell you that is annoying as hell. Either stop or I am.
I think that is our inherent right. I mean, I really do.
Either stop or I'm going to fucking throat punch you and let the chips fall where they may.
I have a similar story, not quite that magnitude, but I'm a huge UFC fan. I watch them every chance I get, and we always have the family here, like Ron Jr. and his family comes over, and all their buddies come over, and Joey is Ron's sister-in-law's husband, and Ron Jr. is like, yeah, Pops, we were talking about you, and the comment came around about how you just kind of speak your mind. You'll tell somebody to fuck off, and Joey's like, yeah, your dad's pretty good about telling people to fuck off.
Yeah.
At that moment, I'm like, is that what I'm known for? I mean, is
that my rep?
Is that my thing? But yeah, I seriously, I'm not joking when I say this. I think that's our inherent right. I think we've lived long enough on this earth and have dealt with enough bullshit to be like, snap your fingers again, I'm going to break your fucking thumb off.
I'm telling you, and that may be the side of me some people don't know. Is I'm sadly, and I know that I'm the guy.
You're not watching this show.
Oh man, you do it one more time, I'm throat punching you. And we're just going to let the chips fall where they may. And this secondarily to that is I told a couple of guys I was, that we were monitoring this session with, I said, hey, not only is it annoying, but how unprofessional is this?
Thank you.
I'll bet you they're paying him. I know what he's getting. They're paying his firm in excess of probably somewhere between 50 and 100 grand for doing what they're doing for this particular project. And it may even be more, but for that kind of money, you can be a bit more professional than what you are. But no, he's an absolute boardroom bully, and he picked it up at a seminar, or it's a trait that he taught himself.
Sure.
So anyway, thank you for
I got a funny story to tell you.
Lori said she calls everybody dear. Outstanding. Good for you.
So Lori, you'll remember this, Lori. There was back when I was operations manager for a casino in Lake Tahoe, the Tahoe Biltmore. And mind you, I was a young man back then. If I had to guess, I was probably in my late 20s, early 30s. And there was a lady there. Oh shit, I can't remember her name, but she was also another manager, director there. And we used to have our board meetings every month. And we came in one day and she was just spewing, just mouthing off, calling people this, that, and the other. And I had enough. And even back then, I think I was an old soul back then because I looked at her and I said, I'm sorry. Are you still upset about that house they dropped on your sister? And the whole boardroom went fucking dead silent, and all of a sudden it was just.
Well,
But
you just reached that point, right?
oh, dude, yeah, and Mike, you and I are cut from the same cloth. You're gonna push it until you've just pushed it that little bit too much, and you're gonna catch a fucking wrath. There's
My
just
gray area
there's no
has a
two ways
threshold,
about
and
it.
you'll know when you crossed it.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. I can usually deal, and I think, and honestly, on the same spectrum, Mike, I think I've learned a lot of patience in my years.
I'm trying.
But the problem is, I don't think I've learned how to deal with it once I've got to that point where I'm like, I'm going to fucking punch you.
Yeah. I just, but, and that's, I mean that sincerely. That isn't a, machismo kind of a thing. Had
No.
I been at that meeting today, I would have been asked to leave.
And I wouldn't
Because
have expected anything less.
I would have,
Because here's the thing about people like that, Mike, is they're going to do that until somebody puts them in their place.
yeah. And I can't believe, I know for a fact I'm not the only one. And I wasn't even there. I'm watching on a live stream, and it's like 8:15 in the morning. So I know these people are probably still trying to get some caffeine in them.
Get some coffee in them.
and here's Mr. Finger Snap. And I mean, and they were loud. And I thought, dude, this is the last fucking thing they want to hear at 8:15 in the morning. So yeah, I'm glad I wasn't there.
Have a little couth, man. Have a little couth.
Yeah, and that's just it. Perfect. Professionalism and couth. I mean, it may work, in your other markets that you're bragging about, but here, homie, don't bring that game in here because I'm gonna shame you. So there you go.
And unfortunately, people of the baby boomer and Gen Xer era, yeah, there's not a whole lot of room for error when you're.
I'm old and I'm cranky, damn it.
When you're dealing with those folk, because we're gonna flat out tell you, yeah, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And I will admit it gets me in trouble a lot with my wife. Because she's just, you can't say that. You can't act that way. Well, here, hold my beer and watch.
Yeah, yes, I can. That's what's really not what that being said is if Carolyn says something like that to me, here's what she hears. That sounds like a challenge.
Are you challenging me?
That's just it. Are you the challenger? Are you challenging the challenger?
Here, hold my beer and step back about 3 feet.
You may want to back up here, hon.
Well, I'm glad I got some of that off my chest today because it was just really bugging the shit out of me today. And it literally all this happened this morning. The whole Home Depot thing this morning and the cell phones. And I'm like, seriously, again? I'm like, we talked about this like 9 months ago and we're still here. Did they not listen the first time we talked about it?
Well, I think maybe this one is more therapeutic for you and me. So thank you for, so like everybody that's tuning in right now and those that will tune in later, thank you for allowing us to lay on your couch and share with you our psychotic episodes.
Tell me about your mother.
That's right. All right. Well,
what do you got to wrap? Give me something good to wrap up. Something short and sweet.
Oh, I don't have anything.
You got
short and sweet. That's a whole different podcast. And I have to stand up for that one. All right. Oh, here, I'll give you one before we go. That's worth going out on right there.
Matt.
All right.
I love you, man. You are a good man, Charlie Brown.
And you're going to make a great grandpa one day.
I will be again in Missoula, Montana this weekend. So wish me well that I stay warm. But yeah, I need to get away to go unpeople for the weekend because November 1st, we start Christmas light installations, which
Yeah, well, you better go get some.
psycho.
Better go clear the mind, the soul, the body, the spirit.
You know what I'm going to do, Mike? I'm going to go buy probably 4 or 5 really good cigars, a case of beer, and I will be on the porch for 4 days.
Oh, good for you. And see, those are my favorite days. We have some friends that own a beautiful ranch some miles east of town here, and it sits on about 400 acres. And I'm telling you, there's nothing like going out there and telling the world to go to hell and just sit quietly for a few days. That's that brings me joy.
I told my
one
guy,
more and I'm going to go.
I told
Hey,
my
look
guys,
here.
I'm like, unless you're either somebody's dead or on fire, don't call me. And then,
Don't call me.
Then it depends upon who's dead or on fire.
And it also depends on if my phone's turned on. Listen, I got to run. Catherine, Kat, we love you. Congratulations. If
Yes,
for
love
those who
you.
don't know, this is our
Congratulations.
cousin Matt's daughter, and she just got engaged recently to an outstanding young man. I've always thought whoever Kat attracts had better be the best in the world, and I think this young man is it. I'm excited to see how they rule the world, man.
She has a psychotic older cousin that lives in Vegas that if he wasn't really good, it might be a big problem.
Nah, she's in good hands.
Hold on.
I know Matt and Sherry.
I got something for you. Since that's the whole thing, we're going to go out on this. Outstanding. All right, everybody. Ron here from Las Vegas. Mike there in Amarillo. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Till next week.
We'll see you next
Be
week.
good.